Hey guys, I wanted to let you know we're going to start trying to make some more videos for you on a regular basis. These will be uploaded to both YouTube and linked over here into the actual HEMA Strong group. Now, we're going to start this off with just a little bit of a talking series from me here about strength and conditioning and what it means to you as martial artists. So strength and conditioning in its core form is ensuring that you're strong enough and your conditioning levels are sufficient to do your sport and excel at it. Now, strength and conditioning consists of two basic concepts: general physical preparedness and sport-specific preparedness. So GPP, SSP, that's how I'll probably refer to them from here on. Your general physical preparedness is covering attributes such as your raw strength, your overall cardiovascular conditioning, and your speed, your mobility, stuff like that. These are called general physical preparedness attributes because they are useful in every single thing. They're not a sport-specific thing. So, this makes up a huge amount of your training, the bulk of it, really. Then we have sport-specific training. Now, sport-specific is when you start training for very specific tasks or movements that relate to your sport. This is just basically motor patterning and working on the exact little things that your sport demands that make it different than other sports. An example of this is when you have football players starting to run very specific change of direction drills that mimic what they do on the field. Now, your average HEMA athlete, for example, doesn't need to do those running drills because they're not going to have a huge carryover for us. You might instead be working on general explosive footwork movement drills where you're doing like a traverse to a triangle step to another traverse, for example. Now, how does this play into your training? Well, your general physical preparedness makes up the bulk of what you do. Now, normally we would talk about off-seasons and on-seasons with athletes and how your off-season is pretty much exclusively GPP and your on-season is when you start including the sport-specific training. Now, in terms of martial artists, though, you guys don't really have defined off-seasons. You have tournament dates. Now, how to approach this is basically 6 to 8 weeks out of your tournament date. That is when you're going to enter your sport-specific preparation phases. Whereas anytime between that, so if you're more than 8 weeks out from your tournaments, you're going to be working on general physical preparedness. So more than 8 weeks out, essentially what you're going to be working on is getting faster, getting stronger, getting more mobile, and better at recovering. When you're 6 to 8 weeks out, you're going to maintain your strength, your explosiveness, your speed, all that stuff, and you're going to start working on movement patterning for what you need and reducing the overall volume in the gym to allow for more actual training of your sport. So in your off season, your GPP phase, general physical preparedness, you're going to be working out with a higher intensity at a greater volume, working on your body's physical conditioning while still maintaining your sport practice. This is a great time to start experimenting with new techniques and try to learn new concepts, new contexts within fighting. But it's okay to be a little sore when you go to your fencing practice. It's okay to feel a little bit tired, a little bit banged up. As long as you can at least mentally retain what you're doing, that's okay. However, when you're 6 to 8 weeks out, when you enter your sport-specific phase, this is when your gym workouts are going to keep up in terms of a high intensity, in terms of lifting heavy weights and still working on explosive movements, but your volume of work is going to come down considerably because now you want to take all that extra energy and you want to pour it into your sport-specific preparation. This is your practice in class when you're working on your exact attributes that you desire for a tournament. For example, if I have someone that I'm prepping for a tournament, it's pick 5 things that you want to be really good at, 5 techniques you want to work. You're going to wail away at these techniques, and you're going to give a ton of time to these techniques, which includes a ton of sparring time and intense drilling time. And you're going to learn how to do these techniques and how to set up the context in which these techniques are applicable. Now, if you're tired and sore from working out, it gets very difficult to do that with the proper intensity and focus that it requires. So when you're in your sport-specific phase, your volume within the gym needs to drop to allow you to keep that energy and that recovery for working on your sport so you can step up your sport practice. Now, within the gym, you're going to start working on very specific movement patterns to ensure that you're getting proper structure, joint alignment, and such. I mentioned before doing a triangle step traverse drill where you're boom, 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 the 3 steps. Now, in the gym, if you have a partner, someone can be throwing you a ball as you're doing this, so you're working on hand-eye coordination while moving. That's an example of a sport-specific skill that isn't part of GPP. Working on improving your 3 rep or your 1 rep deadlift max, that's part of GPP, not sport specific. So if we're 6 to 8 weeks out from a tournament, I'm not trying to make my deadlift heavier. I'm just trying to maintain it where it's at, and I'm trying to work on these other abilities. Hopefully this answers a bunch of questions for you guys. This is a short video here. Remember, this will be up on YouTube, on the HEMA Strong channel, and my personal channel. Make sure you subscribe to both, as the support is always appreciated. In the meantime, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to see these little rants about, please comment in the section below, and I'll be happy to answer them in the future. Bye.